What's up, everybody? I'm back with another video game review, and today I am reviewing Mario vs. Donkey Kong Mini Land Mayhem. This game was released, I think, 2008. Maybe a little later than that. I played it on the DS. I don't know if it came to other systems, which I guess in that era would have been the Wii. So I don't know if it came to the Wii, but I played it on the DS, on a 3DS. I played the DS game on a 3DS, as I have been for most of these. Well, actually, for all of these DS games, I've been playing them on the same thing. But anyway, just wanted to know what the system I got it on. But now let me say, I came into this game with pretty low expectations. I talked to some people about the game before I was going to play it, whether it was even able to really deserve to play. And like, oh, it's not good, it's a bad game, don't review it, don't do it. I don't know. I've given some pretty bad games a chance, and some of them that I thought were going to be bad that I gave a chance were actually turned out to be pretty good. So, going into that, I was like, okay, I'll give this game a shot. Why not? And I was, for the most part, genuinely surprised. This is actually a pretty fun game. It's an unconventional. Note that it's an unconventional type of Mario game. We've seen a lot of different kinds of Mario games. We've seen the side-scrolling platform games and 3D platformers. We've seen, of course, Mario Kart, the racing games. We've seen them in Smash Brothers. In all different kinds of ways. But this game is pretty different because it's really what it felt like for me. This game, best I can summarize it as, is, I don't remember what the game was. It's a game. There was a game. I think it was either mobile or it was on like Cool Math or something like that, where you had to build track to get a rail car across this area and deliver the whatever it's carrying to the destination. That's what I can best describe this game as. It's basically that, but replace the rail cars and the railroad stuff with just regular platforms and ladders and stuff, and replace the cars with little robot Mario guys that have to get across to the destination. And in that case, I mean, this game might have preceded that. I might be thinking of this the wrong direction, or the wrong way. I don't know, it just felt like a very cheap imitation of those kind of games. It felt like they just took that premise, added in Mario and Donkey Kong, changed up the platforms and stuff, and just kind of said, good, that might, but maybe it was the other way around. Maybe the people of those other games took off of this game. I don't know. I don't know exactly when all those games were released. It just seemed like that to me. Having played them in the order of Railcar 1, Mario. It just seems like a very cheap game that did not put a lot of effort into the game, and that's definitely noticeable with the levels and all that kind of stuff. Some of the graphics and the cutscenes and whatnot. You can definitely tell they didn't put the full Nintendo effort, even for this time, into it. So, looking at some of this stuff. First off, the boss battles. And you can jump right to the boss battles, talk about them. They suck. Boss battles in this game are awful. They're not the worst, and they're not the hardest. They're not easy, but they're not super, super difficult. They're just bad. They basically take what you do in the regular levels. The regular levels, I was flying through those. I get through those in 10, 20 minutes, and then a boss battle would take me as much time as it took me to get through the whole other section of the world. And it's just why? It doesn't really make any sense. Either up the difficulty of the regular levels or downgrade the difficulty of the boss battles, or make them a little shorter. I just didn't seem like it really matched up. And because you're going vertical and you got to hit 3 buttons or knock 3 things into Donkey Kong to make him go crazy, and then he steals I don't even know who the lady was. It's not Daisy. Is it Palutena? Not Palutena. I don't know. I don't know who the lady was that she stole. It's not Daisy. It's not Peach. Not Rosalina. Obviously, I think this right around when Mario Galaxy came out. So what was it? I can't really think of the name of her off the top of my head. That's basically the whole thing. And you think, oh, that's pretty easy, you know. Not when he's literally reversing the way that the platforms go, or deleting platforms, or reversing the direction that they go, or dropping fire bombs and bombs and ghosts and shy guys, dropping them literally every 5 seconds. He would change them up. So you have to rush and get across a platform to a more stable place before he deletes it or reverses the direction, causing the robot Mario to go all the way to the beginning of the level or die. It just that's very bad. That was very annoying. I got very annoying very fast. Like after the third one, it was just like, come on, and then you have to do 5 more of them because there's 5 total freaking things. It just didn't make any sense why they had to be so difficult. And it really got to me. It would also be nice if we fought different bosses instead of literally you fight Donkey Kong every time. It would be nice to fight some other bosses and then have Donkey Kong be the final boss of the game. Because really they go along the same premise as they do for Super Mario Bros. You go through a certain amount of levels, and then you fight a big guy at the end. And at the end, and you're saving a princess. That's really everything that you do here. You couldn't have changed it up just a little bit. Like, put just a little bit of effort in to the boss battles. Please. A little bit more. Thank you. It just got really repetitive and boring. But yeah, that's my gripes about the boss battles. Moving on. The concept of like the mini Mario robots, and you have to build stuff to make them cross. It's a cool concept. And really, I think it utilizes the stylus functionality well. There's been a lot of games that I've played that have either been cheap ports from console versions on the Wii, or they have been licensed games that really just didn't have a lot of effort put into them. Or they've just been poorly executed games that didn't really use the stylus's functionality to its best of its ability. They just kind of cheaped out on it and whatnot. It didn't really work that well. This game, I think, definitely really does use the stylus well, because it's very, now to be fair, the game's controls sometimes they can be unresponsive and maybe not do exactly what you want. And a few more gripes about that, like with the stylus. Sometimes you have to, when you're building, you have to drag, and sometimes you have to tap. I'll just sneeze again. I always do this during a video. Never mind. Like when you're building, you have to drag to build it all, but when you just delete it, it just is a tap on the sides. But it doesn't tell you that at all. Like, could you give us a little forewarning? And why do they have to be different? Why can't they both just be drag or both be tap? It just didn't make a lot of sense to me. But overall, I thought the stylus use was pretty good. Overall, but again, it just felt like it was a mobile game. That's really all it felt like. The story's not original. I talked about this a little bit earlier. Same thing as Mario Bros. Save a Princess. Same amount of levels. Same amount of worlds even. 8 worlds. And you get bonus stuff for collecting goodies in the levels, just like you can do for the star coins. I mean, it's not original at all. You couldn't have tried a little bit, okay? One thing that really annoyed me is when the first robot Mario gets to the goal, because you're gonna have multiple in each level. You do at least 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. Sometimes you have a robot Toad or a robot Peach or a robot Monkey or Donkey Kong, which we'll get to a little bit later, or why that is. But you have to, when the first Mario goes through, though, you have to, then there's like a spot, like 5 seconds, 6 seconds. It's like a small time limit before the next, and if you don't get the next one through, you fail the level and the gate just closes. Why does there have to, why is there a time limit? That makes 0 sense. Because maybe you don't want them all going at once. Maybe you want them going in different increments. It just, there's no reason for why the time limit is there. There's no like, oh, the world's gonna fall apart, the world's gonna collapse, oh, they run out of battery or something like that. It just doesn't make, there's no reason for that. Why? It's super annoying too, for a lot of reasons. And one of the main reasons, they made the levels. They made the levels too big to fit on the screen. Most of them, and it's not like there's an invisible wall that stops them or it like follows the characters. I mean, the Marios can just roll right off screen and they can die, or they can get stuck on something, or one of them can enter but the others don't, and then you lose the level, and you don't see that because it's off screen with just a little ticker on the side saying, oh, here they are, and just we can't tell by the fact that we can't fucking see them. And it's just like, can you not have the option to zoom out, or make the levels a little smaller, or have the camera follow them instead of you having to do all of that? Because you can't just drag. You gotta press a little arrow that's so faded you can barely fucking see it, and then you go along that way. It's just another thing you have to deal with, and sometimes these can get pretty complex, and it's just why. The hammer. So talk about the hammer. There's a hammer that you can pick up in the levels, and when you pick them up, for a short amount of time, the Mario's bot who picks it up is supposed to be invincible, and that's how you kill the enemies, like the mini enemies, like like there's a mini Donkey Kong that like can juggle you, which you actually use for part of the levels. But there's like the fire guys, and then the shy guys, and ghosts and whatnot. A hammer kills a ghost. Wild how that works. But it's supposed to, again, premises are supposed to make the Mario invincible. It doesn't. I was playing a level and Mario was coming this way. There was a shy guy coming this way. Mario jumped, had the hammers, ready to go. He's doing this, and he jumps down, dies. Really? Are you kidding me? He had the hammers, and it just doesn't. Why? And it's not. Oh, that was really annoying to see happen. But and then let's go back to those other characters bots that you can help. Why are we helping a Donkey Kong when it's literally Mario versus Donkey Kong, and we're helping a Donkey Kong? Do you see the flaw there, or do you not? You're literally helping the enemy. Who thought that was a good idea? I know you want to do like diversification, maybe some different characters in here. You got Mario, you got Peach, you got Toad. Why couldn't you do something else? If you want to do an enemy, you could have done Bowser, you could have done Wario, you could have done Waluigi. If they're not in this game at all, you could have done a Yoshi, you could have done Luigi, you could have done a different colored Toad. I mean, there was so much that you could do here. Literally the only one that you probably didn't want to do was probably either a Robot Shy Guy, because that could have worked, or a Robot Donkey Kong. And you choose Robot Donkey Kong. What is your thinking process there, Nintendo? That's just like another reason why I think this is such a cheap, poorly executed, and low effort game, because they do shit like this. Why? It's just why. And that just sums everything up. I got almost through the whole game before quitting because I was, one, tired, and two, the game was very repetitive, it was getting really annoying, and I just wanted to quit right there. I had plenty of notes, I didn't want to move on. Now, to summarize, people who said that was a bad game, aka Like and Mifrey, it wasn't as bad as I was led to believe. But was it good? Not really. It was not something that I would pay full price for. I probably got it as a gift. I don't know when I got the game, to be honest with you, but you get it as a gift. You find it for a couple bucks at like a store, or a friend gives it to you. I mean, it's worth playing. I just think, honestly, the game's too big. I think doing about half the amount of worlds and levels, like 4 worlds would have been nice, or 3. That, or you gotta put a little more effort into the game and make the levels a little bit like add a little more variation, add a little bit more stuff to this game, because there really wasn't anything worth a damn outside of the main stuff. And I think that would have been made it a little more interesting, a little bit more attention span grabbing. That or make the game shorter, and neither of those applied here. So that's going to do it for this game review. My final score for Mario vs. Donkey Kong Miniland Mayhem, I'm probably going to have to give this game a good 7 out of 10. It was not, by far, not one of the worst games I've ever played, but it was not really the best either. Big old mid right there. So if you've ever played this game, though, I'd like to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. Do you like the game? Do you hate it? What did I miss? All that kind of stuff. And that's going to do it for this video. Stay tuned for much more amazing content, including more game reviews and other awesome stuff. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Goodbye.